Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 18 of season 3 of the F124 driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Singapore Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from Baku, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. After the heartbreak of Monza, we returned. We had a pretty good race out and we took some points out of Max Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship, which, to be honest, is kind of all we can really hope for this late on in the campaign. Charles Leclerc, he's got a 139-point lead over myself right now. I do believe, technically, this weekend, if Leclerc were to win and I didn't finish, he would officially knock us out of the championship hunt. Yes, all hope would be completely lost late on in the year. We've got a 46-point deficit to Max Verstappen. I'm hoping we can try and close that down by the end of the year, of course. We've got a couple of interesting races coming up. Portugal following after the Brazilian Grand Prix sprint weekend, which I'm very much looking forward to, obviously with the removal of Cota from this season as well. So yeah, looking forward to that, obviously in a couple of races time. If you're new, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. We're trying to hit 140,000 subscribers right now. But yeah, let's head out then onto the circuit here in Singapore. This is hopefully going to be a good track for us. We've had a lot of fun here in the past, but how many times have I said that this season and then things haven't gone our way?
Welcome to the approaching dusk here in Singapore. On Sunday, this will be a night race, but for now, we've got a little bit of daylight to see us through practice, and we've got your company too. Great to have you with us.
The sun's setting then here in Singapore as we head out into free practice. I do always love coming back here, especially in free practice 1, because you do get to appreciate, although most of the weekend you won't get to see most of the track detail here, it is still very, very cool. But you know, this circuit is, I think, in an odd way,
Distance is on your MFD.
one of the most beautiful on the F1 calendar. You know, I've kind of fallen in love with it in recent F1 games as well. I feel like the track change here has made this circuit suddenly actually one of the better ones on the F1 calendar. And weirdly now, I know we've mentioned it before, Singapore's kind of becoming a bit of a classic. You know, it seems to deliver interesting races. It seems to deliver upset results for various teams. So it's actually one that, yeah, I think a lot of people look forward to on the calendar as well. Of course, it's coming up in, what, just over a month time? Just under 2 months? And then we've got another 1 month break in Formula 1, which I hope, of course, all this content is helping seeing you through Formula 1 summer break. But so far, yeah, this lap, we are nowhere near purple. And as we round our way then through the final corner, way too many green scores to try and get purple overall. We're already 20 out. I think we'll go for it again. Well, if you don't succeed at first, try again. Out of the final couple of corners we go. Once more then. Hopefully this time around we are going to get the purple score on the board. There we go. I'll see you guys in qualifying.
It is one of our great cinematic settings of the season. Welcome to Singapore. We're under the floodlights with the walls close and pole position up for grabs.
Well, no such struggles then seeing ourselves through Q1 here in Singapore. I'll be honest, if we struggled here, then I'd probably be better off taking a sabbatical to the end of the season. This should be a really happy hunting ground for us, and hopefully we can live up to that hype later on in qualifying. Yeah, we ended up on the front row here, I think, back in Season 1 in our Haas, which is quite a miraculous result, all things considered. Yeah, Leclerc, we know as always, he will be strong. You know, this is a track that suited him in years gone by, although I don't think he's ever won around this venue. You know, did he win it in 2022? I honestly could not tell you who won that race. No, it was Perez, wasn't it? So yeah, Leclerc's never won here. So I'm sure he'll be looking to try and break that duck this weekend. But yeah, we just want to try and make sure that we're hassling him. But of course, like I said, the big thing for us now, trying to take points out of Verstappen, at least go into Abu Dhabi with a shot at beating the Dutchman still. Hopefully the constructors will be long wrapped up by then. Well, Lewis Hamilton currently down in the drop zone, and hopefully I'm about to relegate him even further there. That penultimate corner curve is really, really scary around this circuit, and then the way the wall closes in on the outside of that final corner. 27.2 puts us P1 in Q2. So there we go. Max Verstappen nowhere to be seen though. Ferrari front row provisionally. Well, take a look at that then from your final Q2 results. 4/1000ths of a second between ourselves and Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen did end up recovering there into P3. with Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton, they're both out in Q2. Gasly makes it through. Alex Albon again makes it through in that Williams. So he's having a really fun time of it right towards the end of the campaign. But as we head into Q3, though, there is a real shot for us to get our first pole position since Belgium. Well, I feel pretty confident here as we head into Q3, but certainly not as confident as Sebastian Vettel did back in 2013. Famously took pole position here after doing one run in Q3 and basically just deciding no one else could get close to him. So took pole position from the pit lane then. Like to try and get the car down into the 126. As you can see, it still gets a little bit unsettled through those curves through turn 1 and turn 2. But yeah, I mean, it's just a question of how quick will Leclerc be able to go. He's known for just being able to extract that little bit more out of a Formula 1 car right towards the end of qualifying. Unfortunately, I was on my out lap, so I didn't get to see what time he set. But we do go purple through Sector 1 and immediately mess up at the end of the Raffles Boulevard. Trying to run up the line over the Anderson Bridge as we try and put the power down at this first of the two back straights then. I mean, you've got quite a few long straights now around this circuit. It is really good fun. It's just about trying to keep the car between the white lines. Sector 2 split. Looks good for us to try and get into the 126s here. Like I said, I don't know what time Leclerc's done either. Through the penultimate corners we'll go. Keep it nice and easy there. Get right up towards the Lenovo signs on the exit, the final corner. Come on, put the power down. There we go. It is going to be a 26.6. And that might be good enough for pole position immediately. But could we find any more? There we go then. Charles Leclerc, he's not even bothered coming back out for a final run here in Q3. So our teammate then, clearly content in staying in P2. Either that, or he hasn't got an extra set of the soft compound tyre. So we're going to try and go again then here. Maybe we could see him get relegated down the order. This is a track where the ramp up does keep occurring right to the end of Q3. You can immediately see there are another 2/10 found through turn 1. Has Leclerc just accepted that maybe he's not going to be in the fight for pole today and would rather save an extra set of the tyres ready for Grand Prix Sunday there? Quarter of a second up as we make our way down the back straight once again. And we just got to hope that Lando Norris stays out of our way there. As what is the McLaren doing? Is he going to move? Is he going to move? Kind of, not really. He does finally get out of the way there. 3/10 up though as we make our way out towards the top of the circuit there. Just that time ebbing and flowing around as we try just to find a little bit more. Attack the curbs through the old Singapore sling, both on the entry and on the exit there. And again, over the Anderson Bridge. Really want to try and open up that line on the exit to give yourself the best run out through the hairpin there. Nice and smooth on the throttle down. As we're only a 10th up at the moment, this lap hasn't been as worldy as I would have wanted it to be. They're right up against the wall on the exit. And again, we'll try and gather up this car to try and put the power down once more. One more chicane, and then the final flat-out corner, braking about 80 metres out there. It's so difficult to spot that braking point. Never quite know exactly where to stop the car. One more corner to go, though. Flick it in, completely flat out in 6th gear. Open up the battery. It's 3/10 up. That is P1.
Excellent lap. We're all very, very pleased with that one. Nice work. Come on, I'll see you back in the pits.
Well, after the races we've had since the summer break, we needed that pole lap here. 4/10 clear of Charles Leclerc come the end of the session. Really, really happy with the time we've been able to set there. Alonso will line up P3, though, ahead of Russell and Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen only good enough for P6 in the end, so we've got a good chance to take big points out of him today, but we've just got to make sure Leclerc and I don't trip over each other.
It's the Singapore Grand Prix, where Sebastian Vettel has the most wins here with 5. Who will be lifting the trophy today here at the Marina Bay circuit? One of the interesting things about this circuit was the fact that we went under the grandstand. Well, not at the moment. The track layout has been reduced to 3 miles. Turns 16 and 19 are lost for the moment. We now have a straight there. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Firestarter lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Norris, Gasly, Stroll, Albon, Perez, Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Tsunoda, Ocon, Joe, Ricciardo, Behrman and Frederick Vesti. It's almost time for the lights to go out. So let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside us for this one is Naomi Schiff. Well, they're having a better time than their teammates so far this year. How do you keep that momentum going?
Yes, for sure. It is never nice to be on the receiving end of that teammate battle, to be the one not winning. But for the driver who is on the upper hand, it's a real confidence boost because, as you know, the first job in Formula One is to beat your teammate. It is a team sport, but at the end of the day, that's the only driver on the grid that's got equal equipment to you. So it's the best indication of how you're doing. So for them, it's going to be a real confidence boost.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't know whether Naomi was talking about me or Charles there, but there's one thing that can absolutely be said. He is wiping the floor with me so far this year in the teammate comparison. I actually don't know about qualifying, interestingly. I could not tell you which one of us has been better over qualifying performances this year. But yeah, Charles definitely outraced me. He's definitely outscored me. And he's definitely had better reliability than me. I had a look back. Had we gained all the points that we've lost from bad results, we probably would have gained over 100 points on Charles. So yes, we would still be behind him in the championship, but it would only be like by 30 points, so there could still absolutely be a fight towards the end of the year. Ferrari have absolutely screwed us out of what could have been a classic end to a rather interesting Formula 1 season, but we've still got to give it our all though, and kind of put that behind us here. 31 laps around Marina Bay. We need to try and get a good start as Max Verstappen opting for the hard compound tyres for the launch. It is 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go then. Neither Leclerc or I getting off to a particularly good getaway. George Russell almost looked to make it 3 wide down towards turn 1, but once again, Leclerc, they're just able to get the start in the Ferrari car. A bit better nailed down than myself there, and he will immediately inherit the lead of the Grand Prix. Russell and Piastri going side by side a little bit further back there as Stroll now gets the jump on Verstappen. Things I never expected to say in a Formula 1 Grand Prix. But yeah, based on the qualifying times though, I think Leclerc and I should have, once again, a bit more performance than everybody else. Like I've said, we've put all our focus now on next year's car. Leclerc absolutely hasn't. So I think he's still maybe a little bit worried that things could fall apart towards the end of the year. Not quite sure how that's going to be the case. If anything, Red Bull seem to be struggling more than we are right now. As we make our way though through lap 1 again, you know, I say this about every street circuit on the game. It is all about confidence. It is all about settling down, getting into a rhythm and a routine around a circuit like this, and trying not to overheat the tyres as well. It's very much like Monaco in that regard. Although nowadays, yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's a more fun circuit than Monaco, but it certainly is higher speed, which is nice. Monaco's kind of magical because it's Monaco. No other track needs to be Monaco. It's its own thing. This place feels a lot more like Baku now, which, based on yesterday's result, maybe not so good. But yeah, we've got confidence here. Well, let's see then immediately with the DRS here. How is straight line speed looking in the car? Pretty good.
Now that you're in the wake of the car ahead, try to get past as soon as possible.
I think Mark, maybe the rest of Ferrari disagree that I need to try and get past Charles as soon as possible. But yeah, this thing is slippery in a straight line. So we might be able to apply pressure to him early on. Again, though, the big thing is we cannot crash. We've done pretty well this season at not taking each other out at any point. It could still end disastrously. Oh, Leclerc, a little bit of a lock up there down in turn 1. And again, we almost make contact with our teammate. That's going to put him under a lot of pressure, though. By the time we get out onto the Raffles Boulevard, there is immediately, I mean, we're just leaning on him, just trying to see if we can force an error out of our teammate, which might make our life a little bit easier. Gaining speed down the DRS straight there is, oh, he just tried to swoop in for the apex right at the last moment, and he's gone. Charles Leclerc straight on at the top of the hill. He almost took my front wing with him, but luckily we'll hang on. Leclerc somehow will return to the circuit in P2. But there we go. Leclerc, he can make errors still in this game. We saw it at Belgium. We've seen it early on here in Singapore. Our teammate, when we apply the pressure, can still crack. Well, I guess the best thing for us to do early on now Leclerc's made that error is simply don't let him have a look back in at the front of the field here. Gasly, once again, having a really, really good start to this weekend. Going to showcase just how good that Haas car is.
Keep this up, well done.
That's exactly what I wanted to do. New fastest lap of the day. Like I said, Leclerc, I just don't want him to even get a look back at the race lead. I think the other interesting one that we're going to have to keep an eye on has got to be Max Verstappen. He's already down to 9th place early on in this race, so the hard tyres aren't working out for him early in this GP. And look how low the tyre wear is.
Use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go.
Tyre wear non-existent early on this afternoon, but it might end up being a bit like Baku, where it kind of ramps up and gets worse and worse as the weekend continues. Yeah, so far, everything looking pretty good. Leclerc unable to get George Russell out of his DRS range either, so our teammates having to watch his mirrors rather than focusing on closing back up. Well, with the way this season's gone and the way I feel right now, honestly, this afternoon, if we can, I don't just want to win this Grand Prix. I want to humiliate Charles Leclerc. I want to absolutely dominate it and just never look back. I feel, honestly, like we need to try and go with Senna. I think it was back at Monaco 1988, I want to say. Obviously, I'm hoping we don't have the same outcome when he had like a 50-second lead over Alain Prost and was still pushing to try and open it up more and more towards the end of the afternoon. Of course, he stacked it into Portier. I'm hoping I don't do that in this Grand Prix. Yeah, already at 1/4 distance then this afternoon. We've got almost a 6-second lead now over Charlie. So if we can end up, you know, with like a 20-second lead or something like that, just don't even give him a chance, I'd be pretty happy there. And just remind Ferrari that, well, yeah, their golden boy isn't entirely made of gold. Starting lap 10 then, Leclerc now, that gap's opened up to 7 seconds. Russell is still staying close to him, but I don't think he's ever able to get the run on him down the straight. I think Russell's basically using the DRS to hang with him there and keep Oscar Piastri at bay. Like I said, Gasly though is doing really, really well as well here in that Haas car. So it is nice to see someone able to fly that Haas flag inside this series. I mentioned it before. You know, later on in this career mode, I could be tempted to go back to our former team. Maybe still try and win them that world title we'd always hoped for early on. But of course, yeah, when you get the option to drive for Ferrari, you always are going to take it, no matter how often it ends up turning into a nightmare. It's so weird, isn't it, in both real Formula 1 and apparently in this game, that the team with so much legacy, so much history, everyone knows they would drive there, despite just how bad your luck's probably going to be. Ferrari ruins Formula 1 drivers on repeat, but still, people want to race for them. I do get slightly nervous thinking about that. For anyone that knows, obviously I am a Lewis Hamilton fan, I've never kept that hidden. But yeah, I do sometimes think, is it the right choice? Especially now he's winning again this year. Carlos Sainz is out of the Grand Prix. What was happened to him? I think, yeah, he's way down the rear of the field anyway, so I think he's had technical gremlins right since the get-go. But Sainz, our first casualty of the afternoon. Luckily, no safety car.
Be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
There you go. That is the stricken V-carb car there in a similar spot to where George Russell found the barrier last season. That looks to be, though, a mechanical failure, so yeah, nothing too exciting. But yeah, he was way behind the rest of the field anyway before that. So Sainz, a weekend to forget, of course won this race last year. So yeah, I'm sure he'd love to... Oh no, it wasn't last year, was it? I think it was... When was it? Did he win this race at some point on this game? I don't know. I know obviously he won it in real life, but I could have sworn he won it inside this game as well. Well, as we're starting to think about our pit strategy here, Leclerc now has broken out of the range of George Russell, and it seems like it's helped his pace out a little bit there. Just now starting to level out that gap to myself. Now he's no longer under pressure.
On hard next time.
I'm not convinced we are going to go hard, so I reckon if we can get these tyres to about the end of lap 20, then we could take a set of softs to the end of the afternoon. I just want to be really, really fast. Team want us in then at the end of this lap. I'm not convinced it's quite time just yet. Like I said, I want to open up the soft compound strategy for ourselves. You just see there, we are struggling a little bit now with the tyres, but I don't think as badly as Leclerc. Still opening up that gap each and every lap here as we tip the car through the final corner. What is the time? What's the tyre wear? Sorry, looking like 48% on that front right, but we have nudged the wall quite a few times. So I reckon, yeah, if we can get these to the end of 20, we'll be good. You might also as well find that more AI start to pit, including Gasly. So he might be able to undercut now and maybe move up to P4. Well, as Charles Leclerc then dives into the pit lane at the end of lap 16, I'm hoping now he understands how I've felt so many times over the course of this season where we've been pushing to the limit and just have not quite got the pace against our teammate there. I mean, yeah, these tyres definitely starting to fall away. Verstappen's going to move himself up in... No, he's not. Verstappen's in as well. So he's going to be quicker in the second half of the Grand Prix, but I'm not convinced that was the right call by the Dutchman, to be honest. I think he lost out too much, especially track position early on. Not that I'm going to complain, though, because, of course, we need to take points out of him in our own championship hunt. Sergio Perez now up to P2, 31 seconds behind. Well, for all the hard-working men and women down at Haas right now, I'm sure they are loving watching Gasly tearing it up around these Singapore streets. I mean, he's within 0.6 of a second of George Russell now. So once Perez pits, Gasly might genuinely be in the fight for a podium here. And, you know, with myself excluded, we could be about to see Haas get a massive result. Obviously, I know we took a few wins for them, but, you know, that is slightly different. If they were able to get a podium on raw kind of AI pace...
A bit of grip loss in the tyres around now, so just be careful.
I mean, we've seen Albon. He should have done it 2 weekends back-to-back at both Monza and then obviously did achieve it in Baku. We're starting to see more and more of those teams further down the order getting those big results, proving what they're capable of, and it is good to see. This is one of the good things about F1 games. As you get through more and more seasons, more and more teams start to spring a surprise. Unless they're Sauber, they're still terrible. Oh, there we go. Tyre warning lights just flashed up as we start lap 20.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Just confirming we are going to box. I've been monitoring the gap to Charles behind. I mean, he will be a lot closer to me for a few laps, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get undercut by him either way. The one, like I said, I'm far more interested in. Could we genuinely see Gasly get the jump on George Russell here and maybe boost himself up into that podium place? I mean, if one of our top 3 had a mechanical failure, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I feel like it would probably happen to me. Yeah, that would be incredible for Pierre. I'd rather see him do it on raw pace, but what an afternoon he's having. Oh, look at that then, the tyres. Yeah, pretty worn out, pretty second-hand by the time we make our way through the final chicane. But we've done pretty well to take him as far as we have this afternoon. Or tonight, I really should say, shouldn't I? Racing here in Singapore. That's not quite the line into the pit lane entry I needed. But we'll just about get the car slowed down on the marks there, as, yeah, team rushing out with those red soft compound tyres. So even if Leclerc is pretty close, hopefully we're still going to have him.
Go! That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting.
Pretty clean, tidy pit stop there as well, as, yeah, Charles Leclerc, you can see, making his way now down into that final chicane. I mean, he's still not even going to be close, is he? Going to still be a few seconds behind there as we open up the speed again.
Finish the race on this compound.
At least the gap going to be down to Charles Leclerc. It's going to still be about 4 or 5 seconds here. We'll save up some battery. We'll try and just go for one absolutely all-conquering fastest lap. But yeah, Leclerc not even able to undercut me then. So I don't think still. I'm hoping he can't see us by the end. Well, I don't know if anybody else has even gone under the 1 minute 30 mark today, but hopefully we are about to smash the fastest lap I set very early on in the race. Completely flat through that final corner, open up the battery for the run down towards turn 1. And we went purple sector 2, purple sector 3 last lap. But we'll be looking to try and beat that as well then. The gap to Leclerc, 4.8 when he crosses that start-finish line. But I'm hoping we've got it at least over 6 by the end of this one. They're really attacking through the first couple of corners, just nudge the wall as we make our way out to the Raffles Boulevard. Like I said, this isn't about winning. This is about pure domination and a little bit about humiliation this afternoon as well. A little bit of a wobble out through the exit curb there as we try and plant the car. I mean, it just sits beautifully around this circuit. I do love Singapore on this game, and I tell you what, with the setup we've got today, this car feels absolutely brilliant as well. Careful not to hit the inside wall. Don't want to do a George Russell on the exit either. Oh, that was close. Yeah, we are. I think once we've done this lap, we're not going to take anywhere near as much risk again, but put the power down out of the hairpin. You can see that gap to Leclerc already up to 6.3 seconds. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. I mean, this could be a high 127 if we get it nailed through the final couple of corners. The time is just evolving as we make our way down in towards this final chicane. Tip the car in, plenty of curb on the entry. We know it will grip up. right up towards the wall on the exit, completely flat through this final corner. What is the time going to be on the board? It's a 1:27.5. We pulled out probably about 3 seconds on LeClerc in that one lap. Let's just get this car to the flag. I don't get those fuel-saving ones, because they're always pretty much right on the cusp. But, say, unless you're actually struggling with fuel, it doesn't really matter too much. You can't really, you know, there's no rich revs or anything like that inside F124. So you can't really burn more of it than the team want you to. Oh, we've got yellows. We've got yellows. Aston Martin. I think that might be Lance Stroll out of the Grand Prix in exactly the same spot that he stacked it a couple of years ago. Don't think we're going to get a late safety car or anything like that here. But yeah, Stroll, our second casualty of the night. And I've just been thinking back, of course, it was Season 1. Carlos Sainz won this race for Ferrari. We obviously won it last season for Haas, didn't we? Not in Season 1, after Verstappen bottled it late on in the afternoon. Also just getting a tiny bit worried for Gasly towards the end here, because he's dropped out of the range of Russell and might be falling back into the clutches of Lando Norris. I want to see that Haas driver get at least P4. We round then in towards the final couple of corners to start the last lap of the Singapore Grand Prix. Ever since Sebastian Vettel left this sport, there's been a void left to fill here at Marina Bay. Who would become the new king of Singapore? We managed to win the race last season in rather controversial standings, not because of my own driving or anything, but Max Verstappen making an absolute hash of it late on in the day. One of the biggest shock wins I will ever get in a Formula 1 game. But this season, we took that pole position in dominant style. We did admittedly lose the lead early on, temporarily to Leclerc, but a mistake by him early on. We have never really looked back. Like I said, this weekend, this race was not about winning. It was about reminding Charles and the team that we still, on our day, can absolutely, easily get the better of him there. And if we do stay with Ferrari next season, I'm hoping that we can prove once more just how capable we are behind the wheel. I'm gutted. Gasly has just lost out to Lando Norris as well for P4 in this race, so he's not even going to equal Haas's best non-me result ever in Formula 1 either. But 10 points on the board, I don't think that team can really complain about either with the season they're having, and it'll help them close back in on Williams once more. But in towards the final couple of corners here from Marina Bay. It has not been our season. You got to celebrate every win like it's your last in Formula 1. I don't know whether we're going to win another race in red, so you know what, pretty happy with that. Through the final couple of corners, win number 5 of the year for Ferrari and ourselves. Grazie ragazzi, not bad for a number 2 driver.
Yes, 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 guys, yes! Come on, boys!
They've endured the harsh conditions here in Singapore then to pull off a spectacular victory.
And they led every single lap of the race. It was a light to flag victory, and that is total dominance.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit, familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
Well, there we go. Pole position by half a second. Fastest lap in the race by 2 seconds. And we take the Grand Prix victory by 10 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc in the end. That is 26 hard-earned points on the board right there. And just a reminder once again, Ferrari, you still need me. And you need to give us a car that delivers week in and week out there. We get another one too, though, for the team. Back-to-back maximum points hauls as well. Means that, yeah, I think we got one hand on the Constructors' Trophy as well. Russell will come through for P3 ahead of Lando, Norris and Gasly there, who still was able to beat out Verstappen. Piastri, Hamilton, Perez, and Alex Albon will round out your top 10 there. So points for both Haas and Williams once again this weekend. Yeah, absolutely love to see it. And I give Sauber some stick. I tell you what, yeah, they're getting in that fight late on in the campaign. They're Stroll and Sainz, the two that failed to see the checkered flag. It means championship-wise, the gap to Verstappen has been cut down to just 28 points now, but Leclerc with over a 100-point buffer at the top of the table. Norris still ahead of Russell as well, with Alonso, Piastri and Hamilton duking out for P6. Perez still a little bit further behind, but yeah, Gasly as well could get the jump on Stroll by the end of the year. There's still only those two Sauber cars yet to score points. And constructors-wise, what a 271-point lead now with 6 races to go. I think we basically just need to score, I mean, how many points is that? 264 plus some sprints, about 290 points. So we need about 20 points from the last few Grand Prix of the campaign as well, which I certainly hope is going to be doable there. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready in Mexico City.